really, we really live this we talk about. You hear me?
Real though, I don't see why this was surprising or new to y'all.
And it lands a rapper in jail.
You won't believe the timing on this one. Just when the streets thought Pooh Shiesty had everything under control, the police move in, and it's explosive. Sources say authorities caught him right as the FDO, yes, that FDO, blew up, and the timing couldn't have been crazier. Fans are still reeling from the news, and social media is lighting up with every theory you can imagine. Some are saying it was a setup, others swear it's karma. But one thing is for sure, Pooh Shiesty's world just flipped overnight. For months, fans have watched him rise, dominate tracks, and flex that lifestyle we all envy. But with the spotlight comes scrutiny, and law enforcement has been keeping close tabs. Now, with this sudden arrest, or let's call it an interception, the question on everyone's lips is, what happens next? And why now? Why exactly at the moment the FDO exploded? The chaos surrounding this moment is unlike anything we've seen, and it's got people asking whether this was pure coincidence, or if someone behind the scenes orchestrated every move. The streets are buzzing with chatter, rumors, and screenshots. TikTok and Instagram are flooded with clips analyzing the timing frame by frame. Everyone's trying to figure out how this all went down. Pooh Shiesty's reaction, the police maneuvers, the crowd outside, and the exact second the FDO detonated. And let's not forget the fans who are live in the area. Eyewitness accounts are pouring in, each adding a new layer to this already wild story. What makes this story even crazier is the public reaction. Some are showing support, some are shocked, and others are straight up celebrating, saying finally, justice. And yet, even in the chaos, there's one burning question. What does this mean for his career, his reputation, and the larger scene he's a part of? Experts are weighing in, insiders are spilling tea, and everyone's attention is glued to the aftermath. Stick around, because we're breaking down every second of this unbelievable moment. The arrest, the FDO, and the aftermath that nobody saw coming. You won't want to miss the details that make this one of the most insane turn of events in recent hip-hop history. Pooh Shiesty caught up, the FDO explodes, and the timing, well, it's something straight out of a movie. The morning started like any other in the streets, but by noon, everything had changed. Pooh Shiesty, known for his bold moves and larger-than-life presence, was suddenly in the center of a storm nobody saw coming. Social media was buzzing, not just with speculation, but with real footage of law enforcement converging on a location that insiders claim was a key FDO operation. The timing? Unbelievable. Right as the FDO went off, the police swooped in, creating a scene that looked more like a Hollywood blockbuster than real life. Eyewitnesses reported hearing sirens before anyone could even piece together what was happening. People on TikTok and Instagram started live streaming, capturing moments of chaos, cars blocking streets, officers shouting orders, and Pooh Shiesty himself, calm but clearly aware that things were spiraling. Some clips show him being guided toward the police vans, hands raised, while behind him, the FDO explosion created smoke and panic. There's a kind of surreal feeling in watching someone who's always projected control suddenly caught in a moment of pure unpredictability. What makes this story even more intense is the build-up that fans may not realize. For months, there were rumors swirling that authorities were watching, that someone close to Pooh Shiesty had tipped off the police, and that the FDO situation was more dangerous than anyone realized. He had been operating at the top of his game, dropping hits, running tours, and making headlines, but the shadow of the streets is a way of catching up to even the most untouchable stars. And when you combine the explosive timing of the FDO, the tactical move by the police, and Pooh Shiesty's visibility, it becomes a perfect storm. The live videos online sparked a frenzy. Fans were commenting in real time, some expressing disbelief, others outright fear for him. "No way this is happening," one user wrote, while another typed, "This is the end of an era." The excitement mixed with panic, the kind of chaos that only seems possible in viral moments like this, where everyone becomes part of the story just by watching. Experts later broke down the clips, frame by frame, analyzing everything from his body language to the police movements. And even without context, it's clear the operation was precise, coordinated, and executed at a moment that would maximize impact. Meanwhile, the FDO explosion itself added another layer of drama. The sound of the blast echoed through the streets, and smoke filled the skyline, creating an almost cinematic backdrop to the arrest. Many fans speculated whether the explosion was a distraction or a setup. Was it planned to coincide with the police move, or was it a dangerous coincidence? Rumors of inside betrayal began circulating immediately, and now, everyone in the scene is asking the same question. Who knew, and how long had they been waiting for this moment? But let's take a step back. This isn't just about an arrest or an FDO going off. It's about timing, influence, and consequences. Pooh Shiesty has always been a figure who thrives on attention, who knows how to stay relevant, and who plays the streets like a chessboard. Yet, in moments like this, all the strategy in the world meets an unpredictable reality: law enforcement, the FDO, the crowd, and chance converging in a way that nobody, not even the most experienced insiders, could fully anticipate. As news outlets scrambled to cover the story, breaking tweets and live streams spread like wildfire. Analysts began dissecting the aftermath, discussing potential legal consequences, career implications, and even the effect on collaborations and future projects. The stakes are massive, not just for Pooh Shiesty, but for anyone associated with the FDO operation, and for the entire scene watching closely from the sidelines. What's even more shocking is the silence from some of the major players in the industry. While fans, commentators, and social media personalities are reacting in real time, some of Pooh Shiesty's closest collaborators have remained quiet. No public statements, no official commentary, just speculation and the sense that everyone is bracing for what comes next. The uncertainty adds fuel to the fire. People are hungry for answers, and every second without clarification makes the story even juicier. By the end of the day, one thing is crystal clear. This is not just another arrest, and the FDO explosion isn't just a footnote. The timing, the coordination, and the immediate chaos have made this one of the most talked about events in recent hip-hop history. Fans, media, and even those in the streets are asking the same thing. What happens next? And while no one can answer that definitively, the streets were still echoing with the chaos from the arrest when the aftermath began to sink in. Everyone was talking about how Pooh Shiesty had been caught at the exact moment the FDO went off, and the timing seemed almost unreal. People on social media were posting every angle, every clip, and every reaction, trying to piece together what had actually happened. Some videos showed him being guided toward the police vehicles, his expression calm, almost unnervingly composed. Others captured the explosion of the FDO behind him, smoke and fire creating a chaotic scene that made it look like a movie set rather than real life. Every frame fueled speculation, and every angle told a slightly different story. Rumors started spreading fast. Insiders hinted that the authorities had been monitoring him for weeks, tracking movements, meetings, and even studio sessions. Some claimed that certain locations had been flagged as high risk, but nobody expected the operation to coincide perfectly with the FDO explosion. The idea that someone close to him might have tipped off the police added another layer of tension, and speculation about betrayal began to dominate the conversation. Fans debated who could be responsible, how much had been planned, and whether Pooh Shiesty had any inkling of what was coming. Social media was flooded with reactions. Clips went viral almost instantly, and viewers dissected every second of footage. Some argued that his calm demeanor during the arrest suggested he had anticipated it, while others insisted he was clearly shocked and caught off guard. Comment sections were filled with split opinions, some showing unwavering support, others questioning his choices and the people he trusted. Every movement, every gesture, and every look was analyzed and replayed, turning the arrest into a case study in timing, composure, and street strategy. Meanwhile, law enforcement sources confirmed that the operation had involved multiple units, including tactical teams and federal oversight. The revelation that this was a coordinated effort sent shockwaves through the community. People started questioning the level of surveillance and planning, wondering how the authorities had timed everything so perfectly. The FDO explosion, whether planned or coincidental, had created the ultimate backdrop, cementing the moment in the public's memory and making it impossible to separate the arrest from the chaos around it. As the footage circulated, analysts and insiders began breaking down the event. Some suggested that the arrest might have been preventable if certain warnings had been heeded, while others claimed that the operation was inevitable given his high profile and the risky association surrounding him. The streets buzzed with theories about insider leaks, rivalries, and hidden motives. Even those not directly involved found themselves drawn into the drama, speculating on who had tipped off the authorities and why the timing had been so precise. The impact on his career was immediate. Collaborations, brand deals, and upcoming projects were suddenly in jeopardy. Industry insiders debated whether this would be a temporary setback or a permanent blow to his reputation. Social media amplified the stakes, turning speculation into headlines and making every reaction a viral moment. Fans, sponsors, and fellow artists watched closely, weighing every new clip and rumor against what it might mean for his future. The arrest was no longer just a street event. It had become a national spectacle, a high-stakes drama with real consequences. The FDO explosion added a surreal dimension. Smoke filled the streets, alarms blared, and people ran in every direction. The visual impact was unforgettable, making the arrest seem larger than life. Some believed it was coincidental, while others speculated that it was a calculated distraction to ensure maximum chaos. Either way, the combination of law enforcement precision and the explosion created the perfect storm, a moment that would be remembered long after the headlines faded. As fans dissected every detail, the conversation spread to the streets, the studios, and social media alike. Supporters posted messages urging strength and loyalty, while critics argued that this was long overdue and inevitable. Every angle, every clip, and every comment became part of a larger narrative, weaving together the chaos, the timing, and the tension into a story that seemed almost scripted. Even without official statements, the world was watching, replaying, and reacting in real time, making the arrest and the FDO explosion a cultural moment as much as a criminal event. Through it all, one thing was undeniable. The arrest at the moment the FDO went off had changed everything. Friends, fans, and insiders could only watch as the story unfolded, knowing that in the streets, timing and perception can define destiny. The videos, the speculation, and the chaos became intertwined, creating a narrative that was bigger than anyone could have anticipated. People replayed the footage, debated motives, and dissected consequences, all while the smoke cleared and the streets tried to make sense of the event that had shaken the city and the music world alike. The city was still buzzing from the aftermath, but behind the scenes, things were far from settling down. While fans and social media personalities debated every clip of the arrest and the FDO explosion, insiders were revealing a side of the story nobody had seen yet. Pooh Shiesty's crew, long considered tight-knit and loyal, was now under intense scrutiny. Whispers about who knew what, who was loyal, and who might have played a role in tipping off authorities spread like wildfire. The arrest had turned once trusted alliances into a web of suspicion, and nobody in the circle was immune. Pooh Shiesty himself retreated into a mix of reflection and strategy. Sources close to him described him as calm yet calculating, aware that the streets and the industry were watching every move. Every decision now carried consequences not just for him, but for everyone around him. He spent hours on calls, consulting lawyers, managers, and advisors, trying to understand exactly what had gone wrong and how to respond. But in the streets, people interpreted silence in their own way, and speculation about betrayal continued to fuel tension. Meanwhile, the impact on the music scene was immediate. Collaborators and label executives scrambled to adjust their plans. Upcoming projects were put on hold, and business partners began re-evaluating associations. Some insiders argued that this was a temporary setback, a moment that could be weathered with smart strategy, while others believed the timing and circumstances could have long-term consequences for his career. Every article, clip, and tweet became part of a narrative, turning a local arrest into a story with national reach. Social media was a battlefield of opinions. Fans shared live clips, breaking down each movement and gesture, while critics inside his circle, tensions escalated. Friends and associates who had once seemed untouchable now questioned each other's loyalty. Some swore they had no idea about any tips given to authorities, while others quietly tried to distance themselves from the chaos. The arrest forced a reckoning in real time, revealing cracks in alliances that had once seemed unbreakable. Every conversation, every private message, and every decision carried weight. One wrong move, one poorly timed statement, could shift perception entirely. Meanwhile, legal experts began breaking down the situation publicly. Analysts discussed potential charges, possible defenses, and a likely path forward for someone caught up in such a high-profile incident. They debated whether the FDO explosion would affect the case, how evidence would be interpreted, and whether his composure during the arrest could be used strategically. Even in legal circles, the timing and optics of the incident were remarkable, a combination of street-level drama and courtroom intrigue that few had seen before. The streets themselves reacted in real time. Some supporters held rallies online, posting messages of loyalty and encouragement. Others treated it as confirmation that the lifestyle came with inevitable consequences. Every neighborhood, every community, and every street corner seemed to have an opinion, and the collective reaction created a tension that couldn't be ignored. The arrest was no longer just about law enforcement. It had become a social and cultural event, shaping conversations far beyond the immediate circle. Through it all, Pooh Shiesty's reputation hung in the balance. Every detail, from his calm demeanor to the loyalty of his crew, was being examined under a magnifying glass. The FDO explosion had created a visual moment that would forever be associated with him, while the arrest raised questions about trust, street credibility, and survival in a world where timing is everything. Every action he took from that point on would be scrutinized, and the streets and the industry were watching to see how he would respond. As the hours passed, insiders revealed more about the lead-up to the arrest. Certain movements, messages, and signals had apparently been noticed by authorities long before the explosion. Some argued this was unavoidable, the result of living life at a level of visibility few could manage. Others claimed it was a carefully orchestrated setup, a culmination of surveillance, intelligence, and timing designed to create maximum impact. Either way, the combination of betrayal rumors, tactical precision, and explosive visuals ensured that the story would dominate headlines and social media for weeks. And yet, even amidst the chaos, a strange energy persisted. Some in his circle felt that surviving this moment, navigating the legal and public fallout, and maintaining composure could strengthen his position in the long run. But others feared the damage might already be done. Every new clip, every insider revelation, and every public reaction added tension, making it impossible to predict exactly how the story would evolve. The arrest and FDO explosion had not just created a moment. They had set a chain of events into motion that would ripple through the streets, the music scene, and the culture at large. The fallout from the arrest and the FDO explosion sent shockwaves far beyond the streets. News outlets and social media platforms were flooded with videos, photos, and eyewitness accounts, each one amplifying the chaos. People dissected every angle, speculated on motives, and debated consequences, turning what could have been a fleeting story into a full-blown cultural moment. Fans weren't just watching. They were emotionally invested, sharing opinions, memes, and clips, making the drama impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, inside Pooh Shiesty's circle, tension reached a boiling point. Friends and collaborators who had once been inseparable now questioned each other's loyalty. Messages went unanswered, calls were ignored, and subtle signs of distrust began to surface. Some crew members blamed themselves, wondering if a missed warning or misplaced piece of advice had contributed to the arrest. Others quietly shifted their positions, aware that in the streets and in the industry, survival sometimes means making hard choices, even if it means leaving allies behind. The dynamic of trust had shifted overnight, and nobody felt untouchable anymore. Legal analysts and insiders continued to break down the situation. Discussions around potential charges, plea strategies, and long-term consequences dominated online forums and news segments. Experts debated how the FDO explosion would affect proceedings, whether it would strengthen the prosecution's case, and how his composure at the moment of arrest might be interpreted in court. Every move became scrutinized, and even small details, like the timing of phone calls or private meetings, were examined for hidden significance. The legal dimension had become as intense as the street-level drama, creating a pressure cooker of speculation and tension. At the same time, social media acted as a magnifying glass, amplifying every reaction. Some fans rallied behind Pooh Shiesty, posting messages of loyalty and encouragement. Others celebrated the arrest as proof that the streets have rules, and that visibility can be dangerous. The combination of admiration, outrage, and judgment created an atmosphere of non-stop commentary. Analysts, bloggers, and content creators broke down every second of footage, debating what the arrest meant for him personally, professionally, and culturally. The FDO explosion had provided a visual backdrop that cemented the moment in public memory, making it a spectacle that would be remembered long after headlines faded. Record labels, collaborators, and promoters scrambled to adjust their plans. Tours were delayed, promotional campaigns paused, and partnerships reconsidered. The industry was forced to respond in real time to a story that had begun in the streets but now dominated mainstream media. Deals that once seemed secure now hung by a thread, and insiders speculated about who would weather the storm and who might be left behind. Every announcement, statement, or rumor became a potential trigger for further drama. The arrest had not just disrupted a moment. It had created a ripple effect with consequences reaching far beyond the immediate circle. Back in the streets, the tension remained palpable. Neighborhoods buzzed with conversations about what had happened, who was responsible, and what might come next. Some saw the incident as a warning, a reminder that no one is untouchable. Others interpreted it as a test of loyalty, a moment that would separate real allies from opportunists. The arrest and the FDO explosion had created a story that was part legal drama, part cultural phenomenon, and part social experiment, and everyone in the community felt compelled to engage. Amid the chaos, Pooh Shiesty's personal reflection became a quiet but critical part of the story. Friends reported that he was assessing every connection, every move, and every decision with a new level of intensity. The arrest had changed how he viewed loyalty, strategy, and the streets themselves. Every relationship, every conversation, and every interaction was now filtered through the lens of survival and reputation. The streets had always been unpredictable, but the combination of law enforcement, the FDO explosion itself remained a central symbol. Analysts argued that it had turned a routine arrest into a cinematic moment, a visual spectacle that would dominate public memory. Even if the timing had been coincidental, the perception was everything. Videos of the smoke, the chaos, and Pooh Shiesty's calm demeanor became the defining images of the story. Fans replayed them endlessly, commentators referenced them constantly, and the narrative spread faster than anyone could control. The streets, social media, and industry insiders all converged on the same question. How would he recover from this moment? As days passed, new information continued to surface. Rumors of insider tips, miscommunication, and hidden alliances kept the conversation alive. The arrest had exposed vulnerabilities, reshaped alliances, and forced everyone in his circle to confront realities they had previously ignored. Every new clip, statement, or leak added fuel to a fire that refused to die. What had started as an explosive moment in the streets had evolved into an ongoing saga that captivated millions, making the FDO explosion and the arrest far more than just a headline. They had become the center of a cultural and social storm. The streets had never felt so alive and tense at the same time. News of Pooh Shiesty's arrest and the FDO explosion continued to dominate every feed, every conversation, and every corner of the city. By now, the story had grown far beyond the initial chaos. It had become a saga, a blend of law enforcement drama, street-level tension, and social media frenzy. Every new clip that surfaced, every rumor that circulated, only intensified the spotlight and raised the stakes higher. Inside his circle, the atmosphere was electric and uncertain. Allies who had